This is the best one-pan dinner I have ever made. And there is a reason why it works every single time. When one-pan meals fail, it's usually because of three individual things. There isn't enough fat, the ingredients don't go together, or things cook at different speeds. Any of these, if they happen in the one-pan meal, it's gonna fall flat. This recipe fixes all of those problems. There are different steps that need to be followed in this recipe to make sure that all of the ingredients, as we're cooking them, are cooked at the right time, at the right rate, so that when we plate up, everything's cooked to perfection. By the end of this, you'll know how to cook a one-pan dinner that's actually crispy, actually juicy, actually satisfying, and not just convenient. So let's get stuck into how to do that. Now for this recipe, chicken thigh will be far better than chicken breast. I'm also using bone-in chicken thigh, a bit more juicy that way. Now you can use any vegetables you like. I was just using what I had around in the fridge. So we've got some cauliflower, some capsicum, some lovely cherry tomatoes. I'm also going to put in some potato. Now sweet potato would work just as well. I've got some Dutch carrots here. They'll look beautiful on the plate. An entire bunch of parsley for some color. I've got a red onion, a lemon. We'll also use a lot of garlic in this recipe. And lastly, some Greek yogurt that we'll use for the marinade. Now we'll actually start off with the marinade. Ideally this is done the day before to let the chicken really develop some flavor, but if you're doing it on the day, absolutely fine. We'll first run our knife through a whole bunch of parsley and then we'll grate up some lemon rind. This will add just a nice bit of brightness to that flavor. We'll then smash up some garlic and grate that down, put that in the same bowl as the marinade as well. Next up, we are going to season with salt and pepper. You'll need about 2 or 3 pinches of salt. This will help tenderize the chicken as well. Now, olive oil, very important in this recipe. We're going to add this to the marinade as well with some balsamic vinegar and 3 heaped tablespoons of Greek yogurt. To add a bit of sweetness and balance this recipe, we'll add a tablespoon of honey. This will also help brown our chicken when it goes in the oven as well. We'll stir that all together, add our chicken to that mix, and then of course we want to cover every nook and cranny of this chicken, so get your hands in there and massage that marinade into the chicken. After that, it goes into the fridge while we prep all of our veggies. Now, any veggies will basically do in this recipe. I'm just using what I had left over in the fridge. I've got some Dutch carrots. I'm gonna put some potatoes in as well. Now, you can use sweet potatoes. They would work a treat as well. They'd cook exactly the same. But if you are going to use potatoes in this recipe, you need to cut them small, about 2 by 2 centimeters cubed. If you cut them too large, they won't be cooked by the time you pull them out of the oven. Next up, I'm gonna throw some cauliflower in there, just a half a head actually. Now cauliflower cooks a lot faster than potatoes, so I'm gonna be cutting much larger chunks than the potatoes. I had a capsicum lying around in the fridge. This is how I'd cut a capsicum up. I'd take the top and the bottom off, and then you can see where the core is attached to the main part of the capsicum. I'd then run my knife through one of those connections and you'll see the capsicum starts to butterfly open and you can remove the core as easy as that. Now capsicum cooks pretty quickly and it gets pretty soggy, so I'm going to cut it into relatively large chunks. I had a red onion lying around. Now this will bring a bit of nice color, but if all you have is a brown onion, totally fine. Now onions cook pretty quickly as well, so quarters will do, and make sure you take the skin off because that's pretty tough to eat. Now all of the veggies that we prepped have just been put in one main big bowl. To that, we're going to build a mixture that is going to coat everything in oil. So I've just added a bit of honey, some salt, and a bit of pepper. We're going to use the remaining parsley that we had before and add that to the mixture here. I'm just doing it in a jar and you'll see why in a moment. I'm adding 2 cloves of garlic to bring a bit of punch. And we'll add that to the jar as well. Now, we're going to add our olive oil and you need more than you think, enough to coat all of the veggies. We're going to add a bit of balsamic vinegar for a bit of acid, put the lid on, and then we can shake it. This is such a good tip and it saves so much time, saves you from having to stir it in the bowl, and that just tastes so good. We're going to then add that mix to the veggies we had in the bowl. This is another awesome trick to save you a bunch of time. You'll get a smaller bowl to the one the veggies are in. You'll hold either side of that and then you can just shake it around. Instead of stirring with a spoon, which is awkward, you'll see this evenly coats all of the vegetables with oil. We're then going to add all of our veggies to a relatively large baking tray. We want enough air to circulate around to help cook and crisp up those veggies. We'll put a bit of oil on the base and just throw all of those vegetables in. Now this will make sense at the end of the video. I'm cutting a whole clove of garlic in half, oiling the top of it and just roasting that alongside the veggies. And to keep that lemon flavor going, we're going to add 2 slices while the veggies roast. Now we're going to cook the veggies first, so they go into an oven at 200 degrees for about half an hour. They'll only be half done here, and this is so that we can add the chicken later so the chicken doesn't overcook. The chicken only needs to be in for half an hour. So the veggies go in by themselves for half an hour and then the chicken goes in with them for half an hour. Now look, this step is absolutely optional. We're going to make a herby mayo sauce for this from scratch. It's totally optional. You don't have to do this, but I would highly recommend doing it because it adds so much flavor. This really is a key part to this recipe to make sure everything comes together nicely and that every bite has a nice bit of flavor. So we're going to grab a cup here. To that, we'll add 1 egg. And to that egg, we're going to add 1 whole cup of olive oil. So add a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. You need to season that with some salt. We'll then take an immersion blender. We're essentially making a mayonnaise here, so we're emulsifying that egg. We'll put it right down at the bottom of the cup and slowly lift that up, and you'll notice that it'll start to get really quite thick. We'll taste that along the way and add anything that it needs. In this case, it needed a bit of lemon. And if it gets too thick, we're just going to add some water. Now we're going to pause there and we're going to pull the chicken out of the oven. It's been about half an hour and I can say this is done. It looks fantastic. The color on the chicken is awesome. So we're going to pull that garlic that we had roasted before. We're going to put it aside and chop up some parsley along with that. Now these are the ingredients that will pull this mayonnaise together. So we're going to add the garlic that we've roasted. We're just going to squeeze it out, as simple as that. We'll then take the parsley that we've chopped up and add that to the mayo. And then we'll add a bit of honey because this is really rich. We need to sweeten that up in some way. Also, this is a bit too thick for my liking, so you'll notice that as I go along, I'm going to add some water because I want to spread this over the chicken at the end. And that's it, we're done. Now, all that's left to do is to take our tray bake and to spread a little bit of that herby, zesty mayo over the top of it. I'll add some parsley leaves as a bit of a garnish and finish it off with some slices of lemon. And that's it. That's your 1-pan lemon herb chicken bake. Super easy, super tasty, super satisfying.